The phone rang at 3:47 a.m. in the Bank of France. The voice on the other end was panicked. "Sir, the Americans, they've closed the gold window. Permanently." Jacques Rueff, France's chief monetary advisor, sat up in bed. This was the call he'd been expecting for years. The call that meant the most powerful financial system in history had just collapsed overnight. "How much gold did we get out?" he asked. $2 billion worth, sir. We were right to demand it early." Rueff smiled grimly in the darkness. Charles de Gaulle had been right. The Americans were living on borrowed time. And now, time was up. But this panic didn't start that night. It started 2 years earlier, when America's gold reserves began hemorrhaging at an alarming rate. August 1969. Fort Knox. America's gold vault was emptying faster than anyone publicly admitted. Every month, ships left New York Harbor loaded with American gold, heading to European banks. France alone had drained $2 billion in gold. Germany took another billion. Switzerland, Belgium, the Netherlands. Everyone wanted gold, not paper promises. President Nixon stared at the classified reports. America's gold reserves had dropped from 22,000 tons in 1944 to barely 8,000 tons. At the current rate, the United States would be completely out of gold within 18 months. The numbers were devastating. There were $40 billion in foreign hands, but only $15 billion worth of gold backing them up. The mathematics were impossible. America had promised something they couldn't deliver. Charles de Gaulle had started this crisis. In 1965, the French president gave a speech that terrified Washington. He called the dollar-gold system America's exorbitant privilege. A way for America to buy French goods with paper they printed themselves. The United States enjoys the exorbitant privilege of being able to pay for what it buys from abroad with dollars it can issue at will, de Gaulle declared. This has serious drawbacks for other countries. Then he did something unprecedented. He demanded gold. All of France's dollar reserves converted to actual metal. Ships sailed from France to New York, loaded with dollars. They returned with American gold. Other countries watched. If France could drain American gold, so could they. The gold rush began. By 1970, the situation was desperate. Every week brought new demands. British Chancellor Anthony Barber converting $2 billion in reserves. German Finance Minister Karl Schiller demanding another $1 billion. The Swiss, methodical as always, steadily exchanging dollars for gold. Nixon faced an impossible choice: honor the gold promise and watch America's reserves disappear completely, or break the most sacred financial commitment in modern history. Treasury Secretary John Connally had a different perspective. "Foreigners are out to screw us," he told Nixon. "Our job is to screw them first." The breaking point came in July 1971. Britain demanded $3 billion in gold conversion. $3 billion. Nearly half of America's remaining reserves. In one transaction. Nixon knew this was the end. If Britain got their gold, others would follow immediately. France would demand more. Germany would empty their dollar holdings. Within weeks, Fort Knox would be empty. August 13, 1971. Camp David. Nixon summoned his economic team for an emergency meeting. Treasury Secretary Connally, Federal Reserve Chairman Arthur Burns, Budget Director George Shultz. The meeting was classified. No records initially kept. "We're going to end this," Nixon announced. "Close the gold window. Permanently." The room fell silent. They were contemplating breaking a 27-year-old promise made to every nation on Earth. "What about our allies?" Burns asked. "They'll see this as betrayal." "They're already betraying us," Connolly replied, "demanding our gold while we protect them militarily. The free ride is over." The plan was radical. America would unilaterally end dollar-gold convertibility. No warning, no consultation. A financial Pearl Harbor in reverse. August 15, 1971. Sunday evening. Nixon sat in the Oval Office, preparing for the most economically devastating speech in modern history. In 30 minutes, he would break America's promise to the world. Outside, Washington slept peacefully. Inside, Nixon rehearsed words that would reshape global economics forever. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Nixon addressed the nation. He spoke about jobs, trade, prosperity. Most Americans were watching television, not expecting world-changing news. Then came the bombshell. "I have directed Secretary Connolly to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold." Temporarily? That was 53 years ago. It's still temporary. The reaction was immediate and brutal. That 3:47 a.m. phone call to Paris was just the beginning. Currency markets crashed. European leaders called emergency sessions. The Japanese Prime Minister called it monetary Pearl Harbor. But here's what nobody understood in that moment of panic. Nixon hadn't just broken a promise. He had created the most powerful economic weapon in history. Without gold backing, America could print unlimited dollars. And the world still needed those dollars. Oil was priced in dollars. International trade required dollars. Every country needed dollar reserves. The trap was perfect. Countries could complain about America breaking its promise, but they still needed American currency to function in the global economy. This was the birth of pure fiat currency. Money backed by nothing except political power and military strength. The consequences were massive. Inflation exploded globally. The 1970s became a decade of economic chaos. Oil crises followed. Currency volatility skyrocketed. But America gained something unprecedented: the ability to export inflation to the rest of the world. When America printed dollars to finance deficits, other countries absorbed those dollars as reserves. They suffered the consequences of American monetary policy. For 50 years, this system has dominated global finance. The temporary suspension became permanent reality. Every country needs dollars. Every central bank holds dollar reserves. America can print money, and the world accepts it as payment for real goods. It's the ultimate favorable trade arrangement. America sends paper. The world sends products. But today, that system faces its greatest challenge since 1971. China's digital yuan enables direct government transactions without dollars. Russia's payment systems bypass American control. The BRICS nations are building dollar alternatives. The question isn't whether this system will end. All monetary systems eventually collapse. The question is what comes next. That 3:47 a.m. phone call in Paris was just the beginning. The gold window closed permanently that night. The promise America made to the world in 1944 died in Nixon's Oval Office. But the power that replaced it has lasted half a century. America became the world's banker, the world's money printer, the ultimate economic superpower. One speech, one broken promise, one closed gold window, and everything changed forever. The gold is gone, but the power remains. The question is, how much longer can it last?